Hey Pilgrims, we're so excited to talk with you today about albergues. If you've had a bad experience on an albergue or you're nervous about sleeping in an albergue, we totally get it. It can be a little confusing, it can be a little scary, but the albergue is a quintessential part of the Camino experience and we're very excited about it.
We've stayed in a lot of albergues throughout the years and we have some really great tips for you to make it memorable, but also easy so you can get a good night's sleep. So here's how to survive and thrive in the albergue.
I'm Lainey.
And I'm Shawn.
And this is Days We Spend.
So some basics to get us started and some vocabulary so we're all on the same page. An albergue is usually a pilgrim-only hostel that has bunk beds and a shared bathroom. You usually need a pilgrim credential to stay there. These are all just general terms. Just remember that.
Every albergue is different depending on the Camino that you're on, but typically there are three types of albergues: the municipal, a private, and a donativo. In a municipal, you can expect a cheaper stay between 8 and 15 or 20 euros per bed. They're a little bit less nice, they have fewer amenities, you're almost always going to be on a bunk bed. They typically cram more pilgrims into smaller spaces, so you're going to have more people in the same room. And it's also a place that has like the paper sheets that you put on your foam mattress or your spring mattress. And then they also have more rules. So they'll either lock the doors at 10 p.m. or it'll be lights out at 10 and lights on, sometimes as early as 6 or 7 in the morning. The last thing to know about municipals is it can involve large groups like Spanish tour groups or even schools. So if you find yourself waking up with 20 teenagers in the same room, you're in a municipal albergue.
Then there's the private albergues, which sometimes they're not just for pilgrims, especially on like the Norte or sometimes the Portuguese, but they are run by private individuals and they're sometimes nicer. They're usually more expensive, between 12 and 25, 30 euros for a bunk. They take reservations, which is very important to know. There's sometimes private rooms available if you request them, and they have more amenities because they're competing against each other for your business. So there's sometimes a pool or laundry, like nice laundry machines, privacy bunks like curtains, more plugs, and they oftentimes will have a communal pilgrim dinner available for you to purchase, which is a really great way to meet friends and enjoy the Camino.
It's another day I forgot to mention. Municipal albergues typically don't take reservations. That's the biggest difference between a private and a public albergue. And the last one is a donativo. They also don't take reservations. They're donation based, so it's first come, first serve. You're supposed to give what you think it's worth. They can be amazing spaces, but they're also often less, even fewer amenities than a municipal. Sometimes they might not even have electricity or heat, so take it as you go.
So the biggest question that we get all the time is, do I need to make reservations?
Yes and no. When I walked my first Camino in 2007, I didn't make any reservations and it was fine. But things have obviously changed since then. So there's an argument for both. There's like a magic in just walking and finding a place to sleep, but that can also be very stressful, especially as the Camino gets more crowded or if it's a busy time of year. So we recommend doing it. This is how we do it. If you're walking during a busy time of year or a busy section, get reservations 2 or 3 days ahead of time, like a rolling window. And that way you know how far you're going to go the next few days. It's easier to plan. If it's not that busy or you want to wing it, you can call or text the albergue in the morning. And that way you can lock up your reservation and you know that you have a place to sleep that night. If you're staying in municipals, again, they don't typically take reservations, but it's still nice to give a call and check that they're still open because information can be kind of spotty. And then also let them know you're coming. Like, hey, there's 2 of us coming. Do you have space? And they'll almost always say, yeah, of course. Don't worry about it.
Even if you call municipal, though, it doesn't mean they're saving a bed for you. It just lets you know like how many beds are available in that space. Because a municipal albergue, if we are going in a really busy time of year, you need to get there before they open and wait in line. If you're going in a really uncrowded time of year, you can arrive at the municipal albergue at 4 or 5 p.m. and you usually have no problems. There's 2 really busy sections on the Camino where we do recommend making your reservations much further in advance. And that's the first few days on the Camino Frances from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port to Pamplona. Very crowded, not as many places to stay. Make those reservations way ahead of time, like as soon as you have your plane ticket. And then in the last 100 kilometers, you can either stay off the stages, the guidebooks, on recommended places, less chance of missing out on beds, or just make those reservations for the last 100 kilometers like a week ahead of time because there's a lot more people there.
So how do you actually get a bed if you want to make a reservation? We have 3 ways that we recommend. I speak pretty decent Spanish, and a lot of things in Spain are still done over the telephone, so I just call. I find the phone number, call, make a reservation. It's very easy. If your Spanish isn't that strong or you just don't really like talking on the phone, you can use WhatsApp. A lot of albergues have a WhatsApp now. It's very easy for them to respond to text messages instead of answering the phone. And you can use Google Translate. So just copy paste your message in. You'll almost always get an immediate confirmation, yes or no.
Sometimes we use booking.com. It's actually really popular among a lot of people to use booking.com, but not all places are listed on there. So just because a town is like sold out on booking.com doesn't mean there isn't space in a place that you can call and make a reservation. So we have an albergue packing list for you, and these are some of our essentials that we bring to make sure you get a good night's sleep, because that's the key, right?
Bring these things if you want to survive the albergue. Number one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, bring an eye mask. It's the most important thing that you can bring. There's a lot of lights. People turn the lights on.
Emergency lights.
Emergency lights, blinking things. Just bring it. I also recommend bringing earplugs, foam earplugs. I wear earbuds instead, but bring something to block noise because people snore. It's loud, creaky beds. Number 3, bring a sleep sack. This is a little silk sleep sack, very cheap. We bring these because you need something between your body and the mattress or your body and the albergue blankets. Many municipal albergues will have blankets. Private albergues will have nicer bedding, but you still want something that's just yours. So we each have one.
Oftentimes it's required, actually. Like, you're not even allowed to stay if you don't have something. So also, if you get cold easily and you don't want to use the albergue blankets, like sometimes they're not very clean, we recommend you would bring a like a light sleeping bag instead. So you also need shower sandals for the bathrooms and the common spaces, and a quick dry towel. If they're packed really small, get a good quick dry towel. The other thing is you need something to keep your valuables in. So we use like a sling bag type of thing, or you could, something to carry it around town. But when you're sleeping, put your valuables in the sleep sack, and you can either put this whole thing in your sleeping sack, like in your sleeping bag with you and hug it. Or what I sometimes do if I'm sleeping in a bed that has like a wall behind me is I'll actually clip this to the bunk bed, and then I kind of put it under my pillow, and it's right there next to me. The other thing is a fast charger. This is a 30-watt EU plug fast charger because there's only so many plugs in an albergue, and if you could charge your phone quickly and then get off of that plug, it's more polite to share with other people. Fast charger makes a huge difference.
You can charge it like an hour instead of leaving your plugged in all night.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you use that charger, I recommend bringing a longer charging cable because outlets in Europe are ridiculous. They're in the weirdest places. And it's nice when it could reach your bed or a nice table instead of being on the floor. Bring a 10-foot charging cable.
Right now, we also have some upgrades and optional things to you to make it a little more comfy.
So those are the essentials, but I also recommend bringing some melatonin. I'm not a doctor, can't say that enough, but melatonin helps me sleep, especially if it's a very noisy night or just having trouble.
I love lavender oil. Put it like a little drop on my pillow, a little bit on my eye mask. It helps me fall asleep faster and not smell the smells of the albergue. But again, I'm not trying to make this someone else's problem, so you only use a little bit. But I don't travel without lavender essential oil.
Eye mask is number 1. This might be number 2.
It's so good.
Really love
it's worth the little weight of this bottle. We have some friends who also love bringing a laundry line so they can hang it around their bunk, hang all their clothes like right next to them instead of on the communal lines. And another friend of ours really loves bringing her own pillowcase because some people just really don't like the feel of the paper sheets on their faces. So pillowcase is a good option.
It's a little piece of home. If you have the space, it's actually a surprisingly nice thing.
So you've arrived at the albergue.
Congratulations.
There's a few things that we do right away. And one of them is we take our insoles out of our shoes, and your shoes or your boots go in the boot room or by the front door or somewhere else, not by your bed. Insoles come out so your shoes dry overnight, but if your shoes are really, really wet like it rained, try to find some newspaper, stuff it in your shoes. The other thing we do is we check for bed bugs right away. We always unzip whatever's on the mattress, look at the mattress, looking through all the cracks and the corners especially, and just see what it looks like. go onto Google and Google like how to check for bed bugs, and you'll get a whole plethora of information.
Yeah.
Memorize it.
Also, don't put your bag on the bed. That's one of the best ways to get them in your bag, and then you're gonna have a terrible time.
Or accidentally spread them to that albergue.
Exactly.
Because if you do get bed bugs, that's not this topic, but anyways, that's a different topic.
We're scaring you guys a lot. Albergues are great, but check for bed bugs. Also, open the windows, let it air out. I would also say the last two things is shower right away. You'll have a cleaner shower if you do it early, and you'll have a better chance of hot water, which is really nice. And do your laundry as soon as possible. You'll have more time for your laundry to dry, and you'll probably find more places to hang your laundry if it's a very crowded space. And that way you'll have nice dry clothes in the morning. And that kind of deals with our last thing that we want to talk quickly about is the specialness of albergues depends on the kindness and collaboration of everyone who stays there. So an albergue, first and foremost, is a public space. So treat everyone the way you want to be treated. Don't blast your music. Don't put your smelly stuff everywhere. Put your boots away.
Shower so you're not smelly.
Right away. It's all about building respect, and I think that's something that's maybe getting lost a little bit on the Camino in albergues, and maybe why people are so scared of them. But we love albergues. It's where we've met some of our dearest friends. It's where we've had some of our best Camino moments. And we really want to encourage you to explore albergues, do it with confidence, but also do it with the respect that they deserve. And if you bring the things we talked about and you bring an open mind, you can have a really great time in an albergue and have a slightly more engaging Camino rather than always staying in your own private room every night and insulating yourself a little bit too much from some of the chaos that makes the Camino so magical.
So there's a couple things that we do to help create that
Respect.
culture of
Yeah.
respect in the albergues, and we actually set an alarm that vibrates like on our phone. I put it under my pillow. Don't hit snooze. You feel that alarm vibrates, stop it, get up right away. I also pack as much of my bag as I can the night before, and that includes filling up my water, because you'd be really surprised how loud everything is in the morning, and you're likely to leave something behind if you don't have the lights on. You can use your flashlight on your phone to like check around your bunk to make sure you have everything, but in the mornings, I just throw everything in my bag, take it out into the common room, and then pack out there, because you'd be really surprised how loud all of the plastic bags are that people have and that you have and that I have. Again, if people are sleeping, don't turn the lights on unless the majority is awake, or if it's after 7 a.m. in the morning, then go ahead and turn the lights on. But yeah, that's essentially how we survive the albergues. I'm Lainey.
Shawn.
Thanks so much for spending this day with us.
And spending time at the albergue.